G'day YouTube, Turbo Tristan here, and welcome to the second episode of how to turbocharge your car in 20 minutes. So here we go. Last episode we ran into a problem. I think I have the solution. It's going to require some clearancing, but I don't think it's going to be an issue. We are very close to successfully mounting the turbo, and then we got to wait for whatever else crops up. So I'll show you what I mean. Let's check it out. So the solution is to spin the turbo around. I've clocked it back to where it originally was when I bought it, so in the Silvia position, which will mean we'll have to run a 90 elbow straight off there, straight into the intercooler, which is fine. The clearancing will need to be down here. So this is a bolt section where the gearbox goes, so I'm going to remove that, grind this back a bit so that this clears, and I only probably need 5 or 6 mil. And then the other issue is we may have down here a very small clearance issue, which might be another 5 or 6 millimeter. Once this is bolted in and tight and snug, there's going to be no movement or flex there because this is mounted to the turbo is mounted to the block doesn't move. Everything else moves. The block moves in the engine bay, but that won't affect how this is. So there's another piece that I need to clearance, which is a bracket down here. I've removed the bracket. I'm going to cut out this section so it still can mount, because there is a busted ass sort of an engine mount there. So there's 2 bolts there, and then the mount goes in and a bracket slides into there. That's what held the air conditioner pump on. The drain line looks like it's going to clear and go down into here. So I'll put the drain in here somewhere in between some bolts, probably about there. It'll come out an angle, so then there'll be a very small angle in that, which is fine. I might even chop that off a bit higher at that rib, so I can still slide the hose over and put a clamp on there, but that just gives me a little bit more room to bend that there. So that's probably what's going to happen. That way the dump pipe can come from here with a sharp bend. I'm hoping that will clear that, and then come down here like a question mark and loop down and around and go into there. So there's plenty of room for it to come out even this way forward and then down and around, but we'll see what we have to do. But we're going to make this work one way or another. Before we get started on today's episode, I wanted to thank again my brothers Jared and Aiden, and also brother from another mother, Big Stu, who helped out with buying me the turbocharger. Can't thank him enough for that. That's just super generous, and I can't believe a friendship that has lasted, 20 odd years or more, probably closer to 24, 25 years, makes me sound old, but someone I haven't seen for many years. I think it's around about 15 or 16 years I haven't seen him. He came through and sponsored the build with the turbocharger. So there it is, the WUHAN whistle. That's what I'm calling it. It's the China turbo on the China manifold with a China dump pipe with the China intercooler pipes. And most likely I am going to have to get a China intercooler, but we'll jump that bridge when we get to it. I've got to get this mounted first, otherwise we don't go anywhere. Okay, so you would have just seen a bit of a montage of me grinding the crap out of my engine block or gearbox housing area. It's pretty rough, it's pretty backyarder, but it's what you got to do. I've got silver dust all over me from the aluminium grinding, but we've clearanced it with heaps of space, heaps of room. That's not going to be an issue. So that's all good. The bolts screw all the way up. There's going to be a gasket on there and washers and things, so that's going to be fine. Part 1, turbo mounted. Alright, so the intercooler's just arrived, or the intercooler piping kit's just arrived, so we're going to take a look at that. Alright, so here's the intercooler kit. Red silicon, I got a discount on that, but it'll match the brakes. Piping looks pretty good. So there we go. We should be able to make something work out of that, but we'll get to that later on. And I just got another package, which was the oil filter and the fuel filter. And this just arrived, which is my second V-band flange. So another 2.5-inch V-band, so I can have quick disconnects. So 2 V-bands, one for the dump and one for somewhere down the back of the car. Alright, so this is what the clearancing looks like. All cleaned up. I just ground back this section here where the bolt hole goes, and I'll stick that back in now. There's plenty of thread there. You can see the thread finishes just before where the cut goes in, so not a worry about any issues with that. So that's sweet. So I'll stick that back in. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut this braided line to make the water hose, so I can finish up doing these fittings for the water line. I've taped it off so it doesn't fray up, and I'm just going to use my little cutter. Should be fine, right in the middle. And there we go. So one of these goes on to the barbed fitting like so, and then that supplies water to the turbo, and the other one gets a barbed fitting there. Sorry, that's a banjo, that's a barb. So these are normally press lock hoses, but the idea is for this to go into there and then use a hose clamp and clamp that in nice and tight, and then these will run to the turb ski. I'll route them under there a nice way, so that goes like that. And yeah, one more to go. And I stuffed that up royally, but that ain't never coming undone. I never said it was going to be pretty, guys. Alright guys, I'm going to show you how I'm going to run my water lines, which are going to use these outlets here. Now, I'm hoping this will work. It's just something that I came up with. Bit of a safeguard for the turbo. You don't need to put water cooling lines on your China eBay turbo, but I'm sure it helps. That's just going to press in there, and then we're going to do this up tight as heck. And hopefully that's going to feed the turbo some cool water to cool down those bearings and just keep everything under control. Now there's a good chance that these 20-year-old hoses will split or leak or something. It's not a big deal to replace them, but for the moment, just going to do what I always do and wing it. Worry about it later for now. My motto is, whenever something breaks, you replace it with something much better that's probably never going to break or overkill. But until then, we'll just make do with what we've got. Now these fittings have barbs on the end of them. So even though I'm still doing this up tighter, this would have sealed, you know, 3 turns ago. But that ain't coming off there. Go ahead and nip those up soon. Now I'll just do the other one. Same deal. Whip out that. Take off this old school spring clamp. There we go. Just going to tighten this down a few turns. Makes it easier. Slide that over there. Get the second one. Push it in all the way till it bottoms out. And then tighten the crap out of it. I really need one of those hose clamp screwdrivers with the right size fitting on the end, like a 7 or an 8mm, whatever it is. Because anyone who's ever done this knows that these hose clamps, the screwdriver doesn't stay in there and it slides out and spikes you in the finger. Like that. And it bloody hurts. But there we go. Water line's done. Alright, so I'm just going to take the banjo fittings and fit them onto the turbo water lines and get those all put on, because it's kind of a process. You have to put those on first before you can get to bolting the turbo up. So firstly you got to screw these on here. So that's not going anywhere. And then the other one. Now they're 2 different colors. That doesn't matter. It's just all that they had at the shop. Now it's mostly important to get the back one on, because that's the one that's impossible to reach. And you'll notice I don't care about scratching up all of the paint here on the green bit, because we haven't painted that yet. Alright guys, that brings us to the end of the second video. Now, you've seen me, this one's a bit of a mishmash because I just kind of got stuff done. So we've done the braided lines for the water. Now they go all the way through here and to the turbo. Now they just pump coolant through just like the radiator, but it cools down the cartridge of the turbo, or the bearings and everything, just keeps everything nice and cool. I didn't film this, I went ahead and nipped up all the bolts for the manifold and the dump pipe, so that's done. The turbo is back to its original position. I'll eventually cable tie these in a way so that they're out of the road and nice, so that they don't kink. The turbo manifold, I have got a new gasket coming for that, but I'll just leave that as it is now because it's big and bulky and gets in the road, so I'll just put a couple of nuts on there and that can stay like that. Thanks for watching. I hope you're enjoying the series of how to turbo your car in 20 minutes. This concludes episode 2. In the next video we'll start to tackle the intercooler piping, so stick around for that. I've got no clue how I'm going to make that intercooler fit, or if I can even make it fit, or how I'm going to run it. Let me know what you think in the comments. I've got to come out here. I can either go straight around the radiator or do a 45 or a 90 down there and run a small front mount, or even perhaps mount the one that I have sideways there and just you know, notch that out a bit and see if I can fit the pipes through. But I've got no idea how I'm going to do that, so drop a few suggestions in the comments, because this is a team effort and we'll see how we go from there. Things to do in the videos coming up is gap the plugs, check the timing, do the oil return drain, do the oil feed line. Hopefully I've got enough line for that. If not, I'll have to go and get a short piece made up. So there'll be that. We'll tackle that. That's a mission at the back of the engine. I don't really want to get onto that one just yet. I want to do the fun, exciting stuff and mount the turbo up. And then we'll look at doing either the intercooler pipe, which I originally wanted to do, and run it through here and across there, keep it nice and short, or go down through the hole here along the front. I've got no clue what I'm going to do with that yet. I was hoping that I could get away with using my Pulsar one, but it's coming along. Got to get that dump pipe made and do the really sharp turn from there. I'll probably get some cardboard and cut that out to the shape I need and see what I can do, and take it to an exhaust shop and get something made up so I can drive it to the muffler shop. Thanks for watching. I want you to gently touch the subscribe button on your screen. Don't smash it, don't smash your phone, don't get angry. Stay chill, stay cool. We'll get there. And thanks for watching. See ya.